Welcome to another episode of A&O Connect with Andre and
Omikio.
where we talk about life, love, and relationships.
We couldn't see this end, and we travel, never letting go. This together journey is how love grows. Together journey, 30 years of you and me, from valleys and mountains through storms we couldn't see. This end, and we travel, never letting go. This together journey.
All right, we live. We live.
Well, hello. Welcome to another episode of A&O Connect. We are grateful to be here today before you, and we are grateful for those who will join us shortly, and for those who will watch this after it has aired. So thank you again for being with us. You could be doing anything else.
Yeah.
And we just want to say our topic today is when letting go feels like your heart is telling you no.
That's good.
Now, just to explain that just a little bit, we're talking about those times in life and those moments where you feel like you can't forgive yourself.
Mm.
And you live with the guilt. You live with the feeling of thinking you have to continually do good things according to you to repay a person,
Yeah.
to keep doing things to show them how bad you feel, how sorry you are, and
Yeah.
how much you didn't mean to do what you did. And you continue for quite some time to do things for this person, even though the relationship has been over for 5, 10, 15, 20 plus years. You remain a part of their lives because you feel like when you were in their lives and they were in your life, that you didn't do right by them.
Mm.
You acknowledge your part of wrong in the relationship, and you take it so deeply to the heart that you feel like at some point you're going to spend the rest of your life or many years trying to make up for it. So that's the the meat of it all. So yeah, so not forgiving yourself and allowing that guilt to control your heart to the point where you can't let go, or you feel like you can't let go, because letting go feels like I'm letting them down again.
Yeah.
I'm not doing my part again, and I want to see this person happy, but not just happy, but happy about the fact that I can do some good in their life. I can do something right by them. And we go through life just not forgiving ourselves and allowing that guilt to become someone else's control. Because once they know how you feel, they can take advantage of you because they know how bad you feel. They know how much you may still even care or love them. So that's our topic, and I'll let my wife
Can
chime
you
in.
say the topic one more time? We have one of our cousins on, and she's like, "What's the topic for the day?" So we just want to make sure that you know what the topic is. One more time.
Today's topic is when letting go feels like your heart is telling you no.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And it's all related to guilt. It's all related to feeling bad about something you've done or even something you didn't do while in a relationship or while a part of someone's life that may not be attached to you anymore.
Yeah.
And that guilt, just like I said, becomes a form of control,
Mm.
a form of self-condemnation, till you don't even care so much about how that person treats you anymore. As long as you can do something good for them, as long as you can show them that you really can do something worthwhile in their lives and for them, you get it taken advantage of. You see it, you know it. They treat you bad, even though you're trying to treat them good, but you take it because you feel like you deserve it because of what you've done to them or what you didn't do for them. So that's what we're talking about today. Forgiving yourself, letting go.
Forgiving yourself, it seems like that's a hard thing for us to do sometimes. It's like we will forgive other people quicker than we will forgive ourselves. And that's just not right. It's just not fair because sometimes people will take advantage of your good heart. And here's the thing, we're not perfect. We're going to get it wrong sometimes. And we may have made some mistakes in our past, right? We may have hurt the person that person that we can't let go of. We may still have love for them. And then sometimes when people know that you have love for them, they will use that to manipulate you into continuing to be there for them. I know I've had people in my past that, I have wronged. I ain't gonna lie, y'all. I was a mess prior to getting saved. I was a mess. Listen, told y'all my tongue was terrible. But anyway, I have grown. But at that time, I did some hurtful things to people. And, I remember one person in particular that just really held that over my head. And I felt guilty. I'm like, I already apologized to this person like 1,000 times. But they would make me feel guilty and would use specific words, or they would say different things that really made me say, okay, I'm gonna do this for them again. I'm gonna do this for them again. And I had to sit back and say, what are you doing? Like, it was like, yes, I hurt you in the past, but I've already apologized for that. The problem was I had not forgiven myself. I had not given myself the space to say, you know what, Amikio, you gotta release yourself from not only the situation, but from this person, because after I sat back and just really reflected on just the relationship, one, it wasn't healthy, and two, it was making me feel some type of way. I was feeling bad. I was beating myself up, and that is no way. That's not a relationship. I'm just gonna tell you, that's not a relationship. That's not a friendship. That's not a relationship. It's really what I would say will be role reversal. And what I mean by that is the person that you hurt now feels justified in hurting you back by any means necessary. These little sly comments, or they'll make, they'll ask you to do something and you say no, and then all right, I remember that time. Or they will say, you owe me.
You owe me.
You owe me.
Well, to my knowledge, I don't have any IOUs in my life, but if I do, they might not get paid.
Hello?
Because if I can't repay God for what he's done for me, I'm not going to spend the rest of my lifetime to repay a person that I've apologized to.
Right.
So I've repented, I've apologized, and that's all you can do. At some point, you have to move on and live on and learn to love beyond. Because it takes two people to mess up one thing.
Right.
We start off as three, and then it becomes two, because we take the third cord out.
Yeah.
Not easily broken, but we separate ourselves at a certain point in our relationships because we reflect so much on one another. The competition, the fighting, the disagreements, the differences, and all those things compile to the point of separating mentally.
Yeah.
Then there's more space, then it's physically, until the love kind of thins out to where you don't feel like you're in love with that person anymore. You don't even love them anymore.
Yeah.
And the disrespect and the disregard comes, and eventually the relationship is strained to a point of separation or divorce. So in that, sometimes people go back and reflect. What could I have done better? What did I do wrong? What was my part in it?
Yeah.
And don't let the other person be doing bad in life, or you're really broken up then at some point, thinking it's your fault. If I had just worked it out, if I had just stayed with them, if I had just done better, if I had just listened, they wouldn't be in this predicament right now. I don't want to see them, down like this. I don't want to see them living like this. I don't want to see them suffer like this. You take responsibility for someone else's life because of a bad relationship. But, just to be honest, sometimes we date knowing things about people that we shouldn't date.
Mm.
Sometimes we marry people knowing things about people that we shouldn't marry. We ignore signs, we ignore those feelings, or what we
Mm.
call that intuition. I think at some point that's the Holy Spirit telling you, this is not of me.
Mm.
But we push past that.
Yeah.
So once you push past conviction, now you're in the guilty stage of your life because you know you did something that wasn't within God's will, purpose, or plan for you. So I know God honors marriage, not necessarily He honors our bad decisions or moving and living beyond what He gives us and what He doesn't give us. So sometimes we take responsibility for something that shouldn't have been anyway. And we have to realize that we have to live beyond that and live our lives and be happy. Everything's not going to be good. Everything's not going to work out. I'm not saying don't try. I'm not saying that person was the wrong person for you. Might have been the wrong time. Might have been the wrong season. Might just needed some help. I don't know. But if it ends that way, live your life. Don't feel guilty. Don't feel bad because it took two of you. You didn't do it alone.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously, you couldn't fix it alone because
Right.
it didn't work. So love yourself enough to forgive yourself. Ask God to forgive you. And find a way to move on. Find a way to find true happiness and true love. And you don't always have to find somebody. You could be happy alone. You can be peaceful alone. You don't always have to replace or be with somebody. So I'll stop there and let you.
When I think about even this topic, there was, and we will use our own examples because that's what we have, right? So there was a time in our relationship where I had to. We were in a really rough space where we talked about where we weren't talking to each other, and it got to the point where we were really like roommates. And there were things going on that okay, I have to ask permission.
What you want to
So
say?
there was a text that came through from this woman, and it really upset me. And I had already been dealing with a lot of my own trauma and all the stuff that I was feeling of being feeling unworthy and feeling like I'm not good enough in this relationship. And to be honest, we were doing our own thing, even though we were married. We were living separately, but still in the same house, not talking. It was just really a toxic space. So when that text came through, I was like, heck no. That was like the final straw. I was like, I'm out. I just had this point in my life where I was like, I'm done. Like, I'm out of here. Now, mind you, we had just planned a trip to Florida, went to Florida to see my family, and if nobody knew we were splitting up when we get back to Illinois, no one knew that. But when we got back, I was out of there, and someone was so confident, like she ain't going nowhere. She ain't going nowhere. I'm like, I can show you better. I can tell you. So I left. But for me, it was devastating for me because I wanted to be with him. But at the time, he didn't want to be with me, or that's what it seemed. And so we separated. And I got my place. He had his place. And I felt like, and this is just my version, we will open it up for him to tell his version in a minute. But my version of that was I felt like he didn't want to be in this relationship. And that broke me to the core because one, I've known him since I was 20. I've been with him since I've been 21. At this point in my life, I'm almost 35. So all of my 20s, I was with him. And half of my 30s, I'm with him, right? So I'm like, I don't know nobody else. And so it was devastating for me. And I had hit rock bottom. I really hit rock bottom. And I remember waiting, I think it was like 6 months in, and he wasn't trying to salvage the relationship and he wasn't trying to do nothing. He was doing his thing, and I was like, okay, all right. I was waiting for him to come and get his wife back. But that is not something that he did. So I was like, okay. I was talking to some of my girlfriends in Chicago. They were like, oh, Mikio, we got you. Come on up here. We got you. I was like, all right, bet. I'm about to tell him, listen, come get these divorce papers. Come sign these divorce papers. Because at this point, we've been separated 6 months and you ain't trying to do nothing. But for me to get there, my heart was like, nah, you still love him. What you talking about? You ain't finna do this. But my mind was like, listen, you deserve more than that. So I was fighting against the two things in my mind and my heart. Long story short, he was like, why don't we go to counseling? And I was like, I didn't ask you to go to counseling. You weren't trying to go to counseling. So I was done. We had at that point, our daughter had invited us to go to church with her, and we were going to church, separate cars. We weren't even sitting together because I was like, I ain't sitting by him. Absolutely not. I was in my mind, I had felt our relationship was flatlined, and I was not about to give myself back if there wasn't a change. I said in my mind that I'm not going to do this anymore. I am worth more than that. And that was that realization at 35 that I am more than that. And I was like, I'm out. Now I don't want to be praying about nothing. I'm ready to go. I look just as good as he do. So hey, he can do his thing, I can do mine too. That's my mind, my mental that's where I was. So all in all, what happened was the spiritual leaders we had at the time, they really infused prayer in our lives. They really pulled God back in our lives. That's why we talk about him all the time, because we seen God restore our marriage when that thing was flatlined. We were like, please. I'm like, I don't want to be with him. I'm good. I had said no, I'm done, because my heart couldn't take no more. But we were able to slowly but surely recover, come back to each other. But it took a lot of hard work. So when we saying letting go, when your heart says when we're talking about letting go, if there's nothing for you to hold on to, and it's manipulative and it's hurtful and it's back to back, let go. Even when your heart says no, let go. And not for their benefit, but for your mental, for your benefit. Because listen, you got to be able to set some boundaries. So I said a lot, but I want you to hear Mr. Tucker's side. That's my version of Omikio and what I was going through. I'm gonna turn it over to you.
That was a lot.
It was.
All right. Well, I mean, 2 words came to mind while you were speaking. And you talked about it, but not directly as far as defining it with words.
Mm-hmm.
And it felt like to me at some point in our relationship, it was disrespect met disconnect.
Yep.
And it seemed like that same page wasn't always common with us. And I don't know, sometimes when you feel a certain way and you want to feel a different way in a relationship, it can cause some separation in your mind and your heart, gets you to wandering, thinking, and sometimes not even feeling the same way you used to. So what's the struggle internally, especially when you're not talking, you're not expressing or explaining or even allowing someone to give you their heart? So you're left with just thinking about where you are and wondering where you are. So I just feel like for a long time, we didn't understand healthy boundaries. We didn't understand how much we needed God in our lives, how much we needed prayer, and how much we needed help.
Yeah.
You know, when you try to do it alone, it's not working. That's a sign you need some help.
Yeah.
But some people think they're so strong and I got this, we're going to do it our way. Or eventually get to a point where I'm not going to worry about it. It is what it is. Whatever happens, happens. and we live in a state of unhappiness, dissatisfaction, um, unconcerned, whole lot of other feelings. And it's unhealthy, it's unheavenly, it's unholy,
Mm-hmm.
a lot of uns. But it should never get to a point where we allow those outside energies or forces to make it undone.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because, if you love someone and you feel like God put you together and you were sent for one another, we should never get to that point.
Yeah.
And that's what all those outside forces are meant to do.
Yeah.
It's meant to break you. It's meant to separate you, discourage you, disconnect you. And without help, without talking, without even understanding, a lot of us weren't raised to learn how to deal with conflict.
Yeah.
We don't know how to resolve conflict on our own. What people say is fight or flight. Sometimes it's just you sit in it, hoping it goes away and nothing happens.
Yeah.
Until you just don't feel anymore, until you become numb, until you become disinterested. And at that point, what else do you have left?
Yeah.
So, it's been a journey. But when I look back on it, fast forward to right now.
Exactly. You ain't tell your side.
Well, my side is, I just keep it simple. We went through some things. We learned some things. We felt some things. We didn't deal with some things. Some things dealt with us. Until God had to get our attention.
Yeah. And I'm glad he did, because
we wouldn't be here today.
Yeah, we would not be here today if he hadn't got our attention.
Yeah, so we had to be intentional,
right,
about the attention
exactly
God wanted from us.
Exactly.
So we allowed him back into our hearts, into our home, into our minds, and into our desires.
Exactly.
And that's what he can work with.
Yeah.
When you allow him in, when you don't fight his will.
Exactly.
When you don't fight his purpose, when you don't fight his plan.
Mm-hmm.
And you learn to understand that there's going to be some bad days. There's going to be some learning moments. There's going to be some breaking.
Yeah.
Just for the sake of building.
Yeah. I love what Chanel said, intentional about the attention that God wanted from us. Absolutely. Be intentional. That's one of my favorite words, to be intentional, right?
Yeah. I'm going to pause for a minute and just thank those who are here.
Yeah.
Want to acknowledge who's here with us?
Yes. I only see a couple people. So if I miss you, please put it out there that you out there. So I see our cousin Deja on here.
Hello, Deja.
Michiko's on here. Hey.
Michiko, bless you. Thank you.
I see my girl Felicia out here. Hey, please.
Thank you, Felicia.
And Chanel is out here as well.
Hello, cousin Chanel.
Cousin Chanel.
We're going to find out soon.
I love it. I think it was other people that were on as well. One of my girlfriends, Nick, was on from Florida as well. So people are coming in and out. And again, we're here to talk about just relationships, right? Nick said, I love this, and it's a blessing to have this for my future relationship. There you go. Yes. Be intentional about your relationship. Yes. And if it's toxic, we telling you, if it's toxic and there's not a reward at the end and you're not giving to each other, if it's not reciprocated, then you really need to evaluate your relationship. And first and foremost, God needs to be in the center of your relationship. Most of the times when we were battling, when we was fighting and we was not getting along, and not physically fight, we have never physically fight. I want to put that out there right now. Never. In the 30 years we've been together, never a physical fight. Matter of fact, we really haven't too much argued because he don't really argue with me. And that's very frustrating because I like to argue and get things out. And he doesn't.
I need my energy for when I get old. I can't be wasting it all right now. If I live to be 90 or 100, I need my energy.
So it's important to have God in the center of your marriage, your relationship, because without him, you're going to try to do it by yourself. And guess what? You're going to fail every time. It's not going to, God already knows. It was something that Prophet Marcus, I'm going to say his name out. He said to us this morning about God's plan for us. He already has a plan for us, but we be like this is our plan. We're gonna do this, and that's what we did for almost 10 years of our marriage, and that was 10 years of our marriage. Probably at the 15 years that we've been together. At that point, we were trying to do this by ourselves. God wasn't nowhere to be found. I mean, we went to church, but we ain't pray together. We wasn't studying the Bible together. We weren't doing none of that. It was like, yeah, we go to church on Sunday sometimes, but that was the extent of what we did until he became the constant in our relationship, until he became he's the first string in between that's intertwined with us. Until he became that. Listen, you can't break this because he's holding this tight, and no man can break this apart because we align with him. And it took us a long time to get that. So we say to you, make sure you have God in your life. Make sure in your relationship that you have God in the center of it. As you go to God, we talked about this. Prayer. I don't got so many books around here that talk about the power of a praying wife, the power of a praying mother, the power of a praying woman. Let me tell you, I need some help sometimes, because sometimes I don't got the words, but you know what? The words in that book, I use them and say, oh God, okay, God, I probably should have prayed about this. You gotta have God in your life.
This may not sound right, but when you were talking about pray, the books, I got a room full of books, boxes full of books. You can pray yourself crazy, but it's not going to do you any good if you're spiritually lazy.
Ooh, oh! Did y'all catch that? Say it again.
I don't know why this came to me, but you can pray yourself crazy, but it's not going to do any good if you're spiritually lazy. There's a work that has to be done. There's a breaking that must happen in your life, in your heart, in your mind.
Yeah.
And the problem with relationships is we expect this perfect connection. And we're always looking for a certain type of affection, not understanding that what you're going through is God's correction, because we're not perfect. And the only way to get that marriage to look like he ordained it, he allowed it, is because he wants to break us from some things so it can look like his love, like he joined it together, not you. But we try to do it our way and try to make it look good and feel good according to how we want to feel, how we want to think. But as soon as something happens, we blame the other person. We forget about that third strand, that correction, that direction, that breaking, that leading, that guiding, all the things we pray for. As soon as trouble hits, we forget all about it and we look at each other and we start fighting. We start getting disgusted. We don't want to talk. We don't want to see each other. We don't want to hang out. We don't want to show love like we're supposed to in the midst of going through.
Yes.
So God can break you from that fleshly desire to be fulfilled in the way you think you should be, because of your dream wedding, your dream relationship, your dream man, your type, and all this stuff that we keep living these I moments in a marriage. And we forget about the other two people. The other two. What matters?
Yeah.
Is it everything you want it to be? Or should it be everything God designed it to be?
Exactly.
You know, and not to, well, I guess you can, because the Bible tells us to come to him as little children. We have children. They do things they shouldn't do. And we spank them sometimes, for those who believe in that. You know, we spanked ours.
So did.
And Bible says, you spare the rod, you spoil the child. Even God tells us, I chastise those he loves us. So he has to correct us.
Right.
He can't leave us on the wrong path. That's not love. That's compromise. And it could be fear.
Yeah.
So it's to the point in life where we'll discipline someone for doing the wrong thing, our children, our grandchildren, because we see them doing wrong.
Yeah.
We need to get them to a point where they learn right from, where they know the difference between what's good and what's bad, and what's creating the character in them. The same thing God does with us.
Mm-hmm.
He's stripping us. He's breaking us. He's making us. The transformation is
Mm-hmm.
every day.
Yeah.
The renewing of your mind is
Mhm.
every day.
Every day.
Because every day we wake up in a state of this flesh that's fighting against where God wants us to be and who God wants us to be. So it's a constant every day to
Mm-hmm.
be renewed, to be transformed. It doesn't stop because you stood in front of a church in front of people or you get baptized. No, that's not the extent of it. It's every single day. You have to allow God in your heart, your mind, and your life. You got something to?
I want to engage the audience and just see if you have any questions for them, because I think as we're talking about this type of stuff, it definitely is just not us dealing with this. I see some comments out here. Nick said, I felt like the very thing I was trying to stay in, God was pulling it apart. I now truly understand that God was protecting me, and that is it. God will pull you out of situations. You like, what is going on? Why is stuff not adding up? What's going on? He will pull you out. And sometimes we don't know the whys behind it because we want it so bad, but we gotta trust when God removes people from our lives, He's doing it for a reason.
Yeah. And there's a reason we have to go through some things.
Mm-hmm.
One of your songs I thought of, and we're evidence.
We are evidence. That's my favorite song.
I mean, if we hadn't gone back to when we first believed, sometimes in life we encounter something, maybe a job when we were younger that we really didn't like, or a person we met that we really didn't care for, but they may have been trying to tell us some things. Thinking about some things that you went through in your life, some connections you've made, some jobs you've had, some training you've listened to, or whatever. Somewhere in your life is going to come back. Somewhere in your life is going to be relevant. Whether it's to teach somebody, warn somebody,
right?
It's going to become relevant in your life. You don't go through things for no reason.
Right.
So we had to go back to when grandma and mama took me to church. She had to go back to her mom's voice and her dad's voice, telling her about those friends that were no good, meant her no good, and leading to a not so good end. We had to go back to those voices and those moments to where somebody cared enough for us to tell us the right thing, to lead us to the right places.
Yeah.
So we can be taught properly, not just by them, but by the instructions God gave them to teach us with.
Yeah.
So we had to go back to those moments when we first believed, when we first heard those words, when we were first corrected, and those nagging sounds of, I keep telling you, you keep doing it. I keep telling, okay, I'm tired of hearing you, and you tired of me not listening.
Right.
Well, let's just both not even talk about it no more. But they did that for a reason. What if God gave up on us? What if God gave up on us?
Yeah.
What if He said, I'm tired of telling you, I'm tired of trying to get your attention, I'm tired of trying to show you, I'm tired of sending people to tell you the same message over and over, and you still don't listen. You're looking at the messenger. You don't like them, so you can't hear my message. Don't worry about what you're seeing. Focus on what you're hearing.
Yeah.
And not only what you're hearing, what you know about yourself. It's confirmation God's bringing to you.
Right.
But that pride kicks in because there's a person telling us. We don't think about the spirit that dwells within us. So sometimes letting go of someone when relationship is over, letting go when it seems there's no resolve in the near future or at all. Don't feel so bad about what you didn't do. Don't feel so bad if you didn't know any better. Don't feel so bad if you just weren't taught and things just didn't work. There's still hope. There's still life. There's still love. And ask God to lead you and guide you, strengthen you. If nothing else, reach your heart and teach you.
Right.
And if there is another person, or if there is a reconciliation, allow God to lead you. Don't try to do it on your own, because you saw what happened the first time when you try to do it on your own, by yourself, according to your own thoughts, according to your own methods. according to even the way you were raised. And we hate to say it, but that wasn't always right either.
Right.
Things we saw, things mama did, daddy did, or didn't do, that wasn't always right.
Right.
You know, we take on so many traditional things from our families, our forefathers, our grandmother. They didn't always get it right either.
Right.
So you repeat a vicious cycle of something that doesn't work and expect it to work for you. I'm gonna leave it right there.
Who you said a lot.
Yes.
So we always like to engage with the audience and just see if there is, you know, what the topic that we're talking about. One, we want to know, have you encountered this yourself, right? And what questions do you have, or what thoughts do you have that, you know, we can just talk through? Would love to see your comments to come through the chat. We're watching them and we're like keeping track of it. So what are some things that, you know, you can share with us? Again, when we talk about coming on and telling our story and talking about different topics, we're sharing from our perspective, and we don't know everything. We know some things, but we don't know everything. But we also know you know some things. So this goes both ways, right? We share, you share, and we learn together. We experience together. So I think that's very important as well. So we'd love to open it up to see if there's anything out there that you want to share with us.
Mhm.
Yeah. What else do you have while we're waiting?
Just give them something to think about. You know, we're talking about that guilt that has held your heart captive. You feel like you owe somebody,
Yeah.
or you feel bad about not answering that call or not doing things for them because you feel like you messed up that bad that you owe them, that you can't forgive yourself.
Yeah.
So just think about if you have any guilt, if you have any heartaches and headaches over something that you've done that's hard to forgive yourself for.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to spell it out to us. Just think about it for a moment.
Yeah.
And you know, that's that very thing once we go offline that you need to give it to God.
Yeah.
And ask him to forgive you, to repent for it. If it's that heavy on your heart, release yourself from it and move on from it. And don't feel bad, because that person is now in God's hands. There's nothing you can do. And they always have been. So it wasn't that you were keeping them alive. You know, they're in God's hands. So yeah.
This is what Michiko said. She said, my thing was overcompensating. Oh, that's a good one. Sometimes we do that. We overcompensate. I don't know in what ways you felt you had to overcompensate. So if you can share that, that would be good. But I know I tried to overcompensate because I wanted to be liked. I wanted, to be accepted, right? Sometimes we want that validation. So sometimes we overdo whatever it is to feel like we belong. So I'm not sure if that rings true to you, Michiko, or if it's something different, but we'll love to hear. And I know we have some other people on. Please share with us. If there's something that you want to share, we definitely want to hear from you, especially with this topic, because it's hurtful for me to see people be used. It really bothers me because there are some good people out here in this world, and I have seen where people have taken advantage of them. And it's like, why? Why would you do that? Like, I can't talk for the person that's taking advantage, but for me, it's like, I just want to fight for the person that's being taken advantage of. I want to be their spokesperson because I feel like sometimes they can't voice what they need to voice because it could be fear of, hey, I don't want to upset them, or I feel like I owe them and I'll never repay them. It could be all these thoughts that I'll say are lies, because to Andre's point, we'll never be able to pay back God for what he's done for us. And we make mistakes every single day. So a person asking or expecting you to, pay them back for the rest of their life, That's just unacceptable. No one can do that. And there's a verse in the Bible that talks about the guy who owed. Can you talk about that scripture where the guy who owed the money and he was forgiven, but then he went to go ahead.
He went to someone that owed him money.
Yeah.
And he wasn't so forgiven.
Right.
So it's just sometimes we have to consider how much we've been forgiven.
Right.
And the fact that we have to forgive and forgive ourselves.
Yeah.
Because we're not always going to get it right. We're not always going to do it right. And, we have to learn to live with that.
Yeah. Yeah.
And ask God to help us.
Right.
That's all we can do. Anybody else?
No, not right now.
Did we
But
lose Cousin Deja?
Cousin Dave, she didn't make any comments on so far.
Okay.
So far.
Okay.
But so as we're waiting for more, this is one of the things that we're going to be doing for the month of September is we will be looking for guests on our podcast for the month of September. So if you are interested in being one of our guests on our podcast, please email us at anoconnect@gmail.com. We have been doing this for a couple months now. I think since we started in March, April timeframe. So we really want to open it up and have guests on our podcast as well. So we will be doing that. So please, if you're interested, please email us at anoconnect@gmail.com and we'll be reaching out to you. Okay. All right. Michiko came back and she said, mostly with my children, but God. Once I was delivered from that and God revealed that to me, it was freedom. Ooh, thank you. Felt like a weight lifted off. That's what I had to forgive myself for. He showed me that he was in control and I had to let go. That's one of the most important lessons that we learn. Learn how to let go without feeling guilty, without having remorse. Learn how to let go. And we're also on YouTube, and you may not be able to see the comments, but the comment that our cousin Sue said was, when you let go and forgive, you release a burden that allows you to heal. Absolutely. Let's talk about that a little bit.
Thought about the song when she said freedom. No more shackles, no more chains.
Ooh!
No more bondage. I am free.
I am free.
Let it go.
Let it go. Let it go.
And don't just step away from it, walk away from it.
Yes.
And don't look back. A lot of times we look back in our lives, want to see what's going on.
Yes.
Want to see if somebody's okay. We all want to see something.
Mm-hmm.
But we can't see what's ahead of us. We keep looking back.
Yeah.
So allow God to do what God does. Allow God to be who God is.
Yeah.
Not just in your life, but in the lives of those that it just wasn't working out with.
Yeah.
Whether it be an ex-friend, an ex-spouse, even your children. We can't control people. We can't live their lives for them.
Mm-hmm.
All we can do is pray for the times that we didn't get it right. Pray about it. Ask God to help us to see better, to do better, to know better, and to live a better life, make better decisions. So you can't carry the weight of the world on your heart. You can't carry someone's life in your heart to the point where you're not living. You're not able to give. You're not able to love. And people on the outside feel that from you.
Yeah.
You're so wound up and so worried and tense and stressed. Too much on your mind and your heart. It's not good for you. So let it go.
Let it go.
Live.
I love that. Sue said, yes, you can't control how others think or feel. So allow God to be God. Amen. That's it in a nutshell. Allow God to be God. We got another comment from Devon. I'm sorry. She said, I'm coming in on the tail end, and I'm not sure if the full conversation. But for me, having been in a 13-year relationship, I felt I was always carrying everything. It wasn't until I left the marriage when God started dealing with me and my identity that I realized that it was the atmosphere I cultivated and created. Come on. Not only that, the Lord showed me how I was not a good wife. And now it seems he and I are finding our way back to one another after dealing with each other separately. Let me tell you, that is so true. Listen, when before we separated, it was really bad. I wasn't a good wife. I'm right there with you. I honestly I didn't know how to be a wife. To be honest, I did not know how to be a good wife. No one taught me how to be a good wife, right? So doing the best you can with the limited information that you know, and most of us probably got bad when we were really young. Don't know nothing. I'm still got some milk behind our ears, as the old folks would say, right? So, didn't know how to be a wife. So I wasn't a good wife. But let me tell you exactly what you said. Once God started dealing with me, not worried about him. Once he started dealing with me and then started dealing with him separately, listen, we had to work on ourselves because we were the problem. Individually, we were the problem. And we did not have God inserted inside of us to do some checks and balances that we desperately needed. But when he came in and he started purging and cleaning and taking some things out and inserting some things in, woo, it was the best thing that has ever happened. When he really started like pouring in and saying, okay, Mikio, listen, he started showing me. And that wasn't always good. Let me just tell you, I'm like, wait a minute now, hold on. Wait. It's like he was talking about we spank our kids, right? God was spanking me in the spiritual sense. I was like, oh Lord, I didn't know I was this bad. But I had to work on me. And when I did, and we came back together, and God was in the center. Can't touch this.
Mm-hmm. Any more comments?
I just see some people laughing and saying, right? Mm-hmm. Oh, but you can talk about that too, though. When you ask God to show you.
Yeah, I mean, I've spoken of that, a few times, and sometimes when our heart is truly surrendered to God, when we have a true desire for God to help us, He'll help us.
Yeah.
If we allow our hearts to be available to Him. If we allow this, we die to this flesh and we desire in the spirit.
Yeah.
He'll help us.
Mm-hmm.
No, He helped me.
Yeah.
He helped me in a way that I really didn't expect Him in that way. Asked Him to show me myself. He showed me myself. I didn't like it, but I had to take it because I asked for it.
Mm-hmm.
But it helped.
Yeah.
And He didn't just show me myself. He showed me myself with my wife. I didn't like that either, but it helped. So sometimes you have to lay that pride aside and stop thinking what we're doing is what's keeping things together. Actually, what we're doing, our own efforts, is what's managing things and making things work.
Yeah.
What happens when you get tired of doing it? What happens when you get frustrated because you feel like that person is not doing enough?
Yeah.
Or not adding to it?
Yes.
Now your own efforts, now you get tired. Now you're having a bad day and you want to say something to somebody because, like she said, she created that atmosphere.
Yes.
I did the same thing.
She didn't just say create, though. She also said she cultivated.
Yeah.
Ooh, those words are powerful words. Created and cultivated.
By her own strength. By her own means.
But sometimes we don't even acknowledge that we're the ones who's creating this type of atmosphere. We're the ones who's creating this environment.
Because your confidence doesn't come from God. It comes from you and your own efforts.
Yeah.
Because you want to make it work. I mean, who doesn't want to be okay?
Yeah.
So you want to make sure that you're doing the best you can, all you can, to make sure everything's okay.
Yeah. So your cousin Sue had some things to say. She said, I believe that there are 4 things that we as humans want in relationship: maturity, decisiveness, consistency, and strength. And we have to be honest as to what we contributed to the relationship and see it through someone else's eyes. That part right there. sometimes we got this tunnel vision and we can't see nothing else. All we doing is looking from one lens, and that's our very own lens. We're not trying to see it. We're not putting our hand down and say, oh, hold on a minute. There's a person over here. I need to consider this person. We're so focused on me. When you're in a relationship, me and I, those things, you're a team. It's us. It's we. And Devon said, I was intentional. She said, not even realizing I was creating an atmosphere of chaos and tension. Listen, women, we can do that sometimes. And I'm not just talking about women, it was men too. Whoever you are in a relationship, but right now we're going to talk about women because this is who we're talking to. I know for me, I caused a lot of chaos and tension. Attitude, let me tell you, I had the worst attitude ever. I don't need no cosigner though.
That just hit me. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Hold on a minute. Wait. Anyway, I had a really bad attitude. But again, that goes back to not allowing God to work on you. And so often we're looking at the other person, what they're not doing and how they not adding up and all these other things that we put inside of our heads that we don't really look internally at ourselves. So we got to do that. I want to
just want to say thank you, Cousin Sue, for joining. We love you.
Yes, we love you, Cousin Sue. She said, "There's no me and I." Amen. We absolutely we. All right, this has been really good.
Yeah.
Some things I want to talk about because y'all know I'm a coach at the end of the day, and I always talk about just some things that we need to consider if you are we're not in a relationship, but you're trying to let go, but your heart telling you no. One is separate the person from the behavior. Separate the person from the behavior, right? You can love someone deeply and still refuse to tolerate their manipulative behavior. Love the person, reject the manipulation. 2, redefine what love looks like. That's good. Real love does not enable dysfunction. Real love sets boundaries that protect everyone involved. Real love refuses to participate in unhealthy dynamics. And the third thing that I'm going to close out with is get clear on your values. What do you actually value? Growth, healing, mutual respect. And if those are things that you value, then honor those even when, and especially when it is uncomfortable. That's what I got. That's what I got. Cousin said, I have been divorced 31 years. I look back over my mistakes and asking God to make me better for the next man in my life. Amen. That's it right there. God, make me better. Work on me, God, because I want to be the best wife. I want to be the best woman. He wants to be the best husband, the best man that he can be, right? We want that. So what does that look like? God, work in me. Invite him in, and he'll do a thing. And she said she loved what we're doing. She loved what we're doing. So this is, again, we love to come on here and just talk to you all about matters of the heart, life, love, and relationships, and all things in between, right? We don't know everything, but we know some things, and that's what we want to talk about. You also know some things, so we want you to share those things with us as well. So we're always willing and able to just really hear from you, put you up on our stage. Again, September. In the month of September, we are having guests on our podcast. If you are interested in being a part of our podcast, email us at anoconnect@gmail.com. We really want to do that. We're planning that for September, and I'm trying to give y'all a heads up because we definitely want to set some time up with you to see what you want to talk about and kind of work through the logistics. But we're really excited about bringing additional people onto our podcast so that we can talk and, again, talk about the things that sometimes we don't get a chance to talk about, or we are feel uncomfortable talking about.
All right. Well, I'll end with the guilt, the unforgiveness of self. Really something to think about. Some of us live with it, but without realizing we're still doing it.
Mm-hmm.
So I would say, in closing for me, is always choose what's on the inside.
Yeah.
The spirit. And you can trust at that point the one who guides.
Yeah.
So allow yourself to be led into all truth. And anything that's not true, don't allow it to consume you.
Yeah.
So until next time, we thank you all for joining, taking time out with us and for us and sharing with us. And we love you and hope to see you next time. God bless.
God bless.
Thank you for tuning in.